Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be showcasing the latest Songs of the Eons build because our resident streamer got the ban hammer. Anyway, let's start. This is the new main menu screen. The currently the world generation isn't working because Demian's working on it right now. So for now we only have to load up the default world. But still, what we have so far is pretty cool in my opinion. Probably gonna cut this out. So here it is. Here's the default world. You may have seen it from Demian streams that he did earlier this summer. Now there's realms all throughout, everywhere in the world. And each of them has population. We can see under demographics, population. The greener ones have more population. This province right here has a lot of population. Right now we can control this realm, the ruling class, by clicking this frog with the crown. So right here, and so there's all kinds of stuff we can do. Here's this this button right here brings us to the government tab where we can see all kinds of stuff. Here's the treasury. We're not making anything right now because the game just started, but once we get things going, you can see we're making money. Taxes. Well, not really taxes. We take voluntary contributions at this point because this is everything here they're all hunter gatherers. We have certain stockpiles of stuff that we're losing all right now. Administration, court. I'm not sure if court does anything yet, but here's the market. These are the prices for all the different goods that could be produced, and we can spend money on education, infrastructure. That's what this is right here, and the court. And this is how much we would spend on it every month. So I'll spend a bit on all of it. Most of the good information's here on the when we click on the province, right? And so we can there's two different kinds of buildings essentially at this point in the game. There's the tile. There's what's called tile improvements that are on a specific tile, and these are the hunting. For now, these are the hunting grounds and the gathering grounds. And then there's other buildings that we build in, I guess, the settlement. We can build water carrier. We already have enough money for that after 2 months, and the communal fire, and that gives administration, which is for now a placeholder. But anyway, let's get the game going. All right. As you can see, we have there's now a fog of war. We can only see most of the provinces are really right around us. Here's a list of our population. We have a lot of people here, as you can tell. All of them are unemployed. Some are children. I guess being a child's a full-time job. Ooh, we got some nonsense names for our culture and our faith, and we're all humans here. We haven't discovered any technology yet, but that'll soon change. So yeah, that's the gist of the UI. Who knows how it will change by next time, but I think next time Calandial is planning on adding exploration and warfare against the other they can do against the other tribes to take them over. So anyway, let's keep going on. As you can see, we make some of our money up here. We're losing money right now because I think I've invested too much in either education or infrastructure, so I'll decrease that so we can get a bit more money. I want to try and save up for one of these hunting grounds or gathering grounds. the demographics, these guys are, it says they're all unemployed, 71 unemployed out of 78. But the unemployed, they still forage enough to be able to survive on their own, and they, as you see, there's this consumption tab. These are they're able to produce all this stuff and then consume it on their own. But it's just they can't produce. They just don't do it very efficiently, from what I've heard. So we'll just save up to get 20 simoleons or whatever these are, so that we can buy one of these tile improvements. Also, because we're investing a little bit every month, you can see we have an infrastructure investment. We could probably decrease our investment a little bit, make a bit more money. But in this tile, there's a certain amount. It goes into an investment pool, and then eventually, that investment pool turns into actual infrastructure. And this infrastructure needs to get up to 71% to be where we want it to be, or $70 to get where we want it to be. And from what I can tell, the infrastructure satisfaction right here determines how efficient your pops are at doing all the stuff that they need to do. Represents like roads and houses and all that. So we'll invest a bit in that. Hopefully get that up so make them more efficient at producing the things they need. Just saving up for one of these tile improvements. Oh yeah, before I get the tile improvement, another thing, technology, this is whether we gain technology or not is determined by our education level, which is determined by our education spending right now. I think in the future they're planning on making it so that not just you as the government or the ruling class, but anyone can contribute to this education. So you don't necessarily need to spend all of it as a government or anything. And so basically, once this gets up past 100%, the technologies will start researching new technologies. Then there'll be a chance that we get new technologies. And if it's below 100%, then we lose technologies. But we don't really have any technologies to lose right now because we have just the base Paleolithic knowledge right here. So that's technology. That's how it works so far. Calandio's planning on adding more in the near future. And just one point left. There we go. So now we can build a hunting or a gathering grounds. Let's build a hunting ground. And there's a tile improvements tab right here, which will show us, hey, we built a hunting grounds. There's the red ones right there. And basically what this allows us to do is employ one of our pups to hunt animals and bring back their carcasses. See, now we got one hunter using that, working on that one tile improvement right there. And so he'll probably be a bit more efficient at making food than just a single hunter, and just a single unemployed or self-sufficient person will be. See, hunter right there. So, one thing they'll probably have to change is that even though on this map we can't see everything, on the mini map we can see the whole world, which might give some things away in the future, but oh well. Currently, we're in the tropics, right at the boundary between like a tropical rainforest climate, right by a subtropical desert. Now we have more than enough now to build our gathering grounds. You can see we have a tile highlighted, and then we can build wherever we can choose wherever to build these tile improvements. So I'll build a gathering ground, and that'll make us better at getting food. These are basically what this production represents. Even it's not the same as consumption because this is the stuff that's produced. This is the stuff that's produced that goes onto the market to get sold, essentially. So what we want more right now is more food on our market. That -12, that's essentially made up by the unemployed people gathering and doing stuff on their own. But if we make it so that that's 0 or even positive, then the unemployed will be able to spend more time fulfilling their other needs, presumably getting healthcare, containers, furniture, clothes, all that stuff. Currently, I don't think there's any buildings in the game to make any of this other stuff. Just for the meat, just the hunting and the gathering for now. So it seems we have enough again. I'll build another gathering grounds. Currently, there's a thing where the the pops, they don't consume meat like they should. So I'm assuming that's another thing that'll have to be fixed in the next build. But yeah, saving up for the next one. Bam. Our infrastructure satisfaction's up to 44%. I'm not sure what the different tiers of the satisfaction, how they're useful or not, but maybe a tooltip about that might be useful. Soon enough, we'll have room for another one, another gathering ground. Bam. Yeah, as you can see we have like this one hill / mountain right here on our land, and then the relatively flat plains around it from what it looks like. The southern part is drier, while the northern part is a lot wetter. For biomes, at the top of our mountain we have some scrubland, and the rest we have a jungle, dry jungle. So this would be a pretty interesting place to live. Maybe a future Mayan-like civilization could live here. Once we have the technology to make a society like that. Can also look around and see what the AI is doing. Their infrastructure is a bit higher than ours at 70, 60, 97% right here. And from my experience, it seems they tend to go a lot higher than they really need to for the infrastructure satisfaction. Anyway, hopefully soon we should be getting enough money to build another hunting gathering ground. Bam. We could also build a water carrier, but I'm not sure that we need to because our water is more than satisfied our demand. So the price, if we look at our market, is probably pretty low. Yeah. So we don't really need to build any more of that. what we could do is get more food production going. Because the hunting and get if the pops work on the hunting and gathering grounds, they're a lot more efficient than they would be otherwise. This is going to be a lot more interesting once we got wars going on, isn't it? So close. One more. Ah, there we go. Gathering ground. Our infrastructure satisfaction is going up to 77%. We could probably dial it back because there's currently $52 waiting to be put into our infrastructure, but so we could probably dial it back, and we only really need to get to $76 in for our infrastructure for it to be good. So yeah, we don't need to be spending as much as we are on it. Maybe put it down to like 0.3 or something for now. 0.3 per month. Alright, alright. Gathering ground. If you're wondering why I'm not building any hunting grounds, it's because they're not quite as useful because they produce meat, but no meat is consumed right now, so prices for meat are zero because nobody's consuming it, and that's a bug that'll be fixed later on. But so it seems like gathering grounds are probably the best way to do things right now. Let's build it for our next one. Let's build it right on top of the mountain. Because why not? Actually, it's probably pretty stupid because you can't gather as much on top of a mountain. There's just not as much there to gather. Because right now that biome is a scrubland, which I imagine is a lot less productive than the dry jungles. So now we have quite a few people working as hunters and gatherers. Still, most of our population's unemployed, doing their own thing, while we have a few people dedicated to doing these jobs. And so for food, we're now a lot less in the negative for food in terms of how much is being sold on the market, how much is demanded on the market. Probably only a couple more gatherers huts, and then we'll be good. We'll be good to go. Gathering grounds, and then we'll be good to go. Gathering ground. Now let's see. We're just barely in the negative, so probably one more gathering ground, and we'll be good. All right, now we are making more. We're putting more food on the market than we need to eat. So now we have our food stockpiles up here actually going up. So far they're small because we just got into the positive, but as you can see, we're actually going down now because I think that extra food will actually cause us to increase our population. It can even go over this carrying capacity. Like, this is how many people we have, and this is how many people that we can theoretically support with just unemployed. But we can have more of these gathered huts that can more efficiently produce food, and we can go over that limit, if I understand correctly. Another gathering ground. And that should be more than enough positive for us. So now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a lot more money on, going to go to Treasury and spend a lot more money on education investment per month so that we can get our current education level a lot higher, so we can get some of the neat technologies. We can get cold working of meteoric iron. Old cultures that was the first way that cultures usually made iron tools, was from meteoric iron. And we could also get vegetable tanning or groundstone tools. I'll have to see. Do we have any flint within our territory? Nope, but our neighbors do. These little white dots, they're flint. And if we had them within our territory, they would allow us to make these flint middens right here, which I'd assume would fulfill our need for tools. Also, let's check up on our food. Food's still positive, so we probably won't need to build any more for now. Just making sure to invest a lot in our education so we can afford to maintain more technologies, essentially. I think how it's supposed to go in this game is you don't so much as research technologies and then have them forever. The knowledge to keep technologies is you have to be able to educate your populace, tell them how to work these techniques of vegetable tanning and groundstone tools. And if you don't teach them how to, eventually they'll forget, and you'll lose the technology, which is what the point of this education is. Which I think it will end up being a much better system, especially for representing growth and fall, than in lots of other strategy games. I could save up to build a communal fire, but we don't need admin at this point in the build. We'll need it later for when conquest is added and we want to take over some other nearby territories and put them under our rule. But for now, we don't need it. It'll just be a waste of money. Come on, let's get a technology, shall we? Let's put even more money into education, because I want to see these technologies. Let's get them researched. We're 15 years into the game, still no new technologies. I guess discovering technology isn't as easy as you would think in 15 years. Yeah, I'm definitely cutting that out. That was just stupid. Turns out we actually went a little bit negative in the food, so we're back up to positive. I'm probably still going to build one more gathering ground so we can get a bit more so we can make sure that we still have plenty of food even for when times are tougher, like in the dry season or something. So now, because meat isn't that important, because nobody consumes it, everyone's decided to be a gatherer instead of instead of not a single person wanted to work on this hunter tile improvement. But that's all right. All right, so we ran out of our treasury because we were spending a bit too much on an education, but that's fine. I want to get that education level up as high as I can so we can get these technologies. It'll just take a little bit. Seems like in the technological race we're actually behind our neighbors, where the we're in the orange right now. So I'm trying to put that tech level, that education level as high as we can, so that we can catch up. Not that it really matters all that much because the technology doesn't do very much for right now, but still, it's still cool. So it seems like we've actually been consuming more food lately. I'm not entirely sure why, but that means that we should probably start saving money up to buy to get more gathering grounds. So I'll probably spend a little bit less on education for the moment being. And bam! Alright. We're still not quite as positive on food as I would like. I think we got most of the... yeah, all the gatherers' huts are currently being filled. All the gathering grounds. So I'm still going to wait and build a couple more. Oh! I just noticed our our tech our I guess education level right now has gone down, and that's not because I've spent less, but because we've just discovered a new technology, groundstone tools. So now our people, we have to put the time and effort into teaching our people about how to make groundstone tools, which means that we need more money and more resources to spend on that. And so that's why our level's gone down. So there's a possibility that if we don't put up our level more, that we'll lose this technology. But yeah, that's how new technologies come about. Get your education level up, and you'll have a chance of getting those new technologies. Hopefully, the technologies we get are worth it because it takes extra time and effort to maintain them. So we hope that we can get more efficiency out of those technologies than we lose from maintaining them. At least I think that'll be the goal when later on. And bam! Well, anyway, we've gone just about as far as this game has gone so far. It's pretty neat. We have our infrastructure satisfaction at 144%, so we're probably spending a little bit more than we need to. And we have our technological level at 95, our education level at 95%. So there's a small chance that we'll lose the technology we just gained earlier, but it's currently going up because we're still spending lots of money on our education system, and we're currently slightly positive in the food, which means we'll probably have a growing population. And yeah, so this is Songs of the Eons, the build from August 17th. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.